Welcome to Hillcrest Online Cafe. Today I have with me on my, just over here, I have with me Sharon. And so we are going to interview her and hear some of her stories. And if you haven't had the opportunity to meet Sharon, she has one of the most beautiful smiles and beautiful hearts I've ever met. So why don't we ask Sharon, how in the world did you ever wind up coming to Hillcrest Church?
Wow, that really is a long story, but we don't have that much time. And I lived in Chance Harbor, in a little fishing village with my wonderful husband Stephen, and I went to a little Baptist church down there. I was married down there. My whole life surrounded down in that little village, and you'd have to live there to know. I fished on the fishing boats. My husband was a man that was mighty and big, and at that time I was little. But I was great at working, and I must say we had a love that was uh, bigger than the bay itself. And one day, he just sitting, took sick, and he had a stroke. So much for the fishing, so much for the great, wonderful life. I became a caregiver. And for about 2 years, I looked after him day and night. And then he finally passed away on me and went home to God. And he knew God. He was a deacon of his church. And so anyway, I thought, well, I don't want to live here in this harbor alone. So I moved down here on Guilford Street. And one of the first things I thought about was finding a church. And I didn't know any places here. I was a country girl. I didn't know how to get around too well. Anyway, I came here one day, and I just rang the bell and come in the side door, and lo and behold, there was Café, smiling just as I always remembered her smiling, because she used to go with my son. And I thought, wow, what a find. And then, I decided this must be where I'm supposed to go. And so I got ready and I come to church on Sunday. And when I walked through the door, there was Mansell offering me a cup of tea. Mansell was the person that put the oil in our barrel in Chance Harbor and the oil or the fuel in our boat in Chance Harbor. And I thought, okay, this is it. I'm home. My family is already here. I don't have to look for it. And when I came inside, it was just like the warmest feeling I ever had in my heart. Like there was people I knew. There was people I hadn't seen for long lengths of time. They were all here. And I thought, how much more could I have ever asked God for than to give me such a wonderful bunch of people, to give me love and compassion when they knew that in my heart I was aching, dying inside because my husband was not at my side. That pretty well stands truth is up today also. I wish I had my husband by my side, but I know God's got him at his side. I don't understand that yet, why he took him away. Other than he was sick and he had to go home. But I can't understand why he left me alone. He knows I don't do well on my own. God knows that. But for these years, he's pulled me through. He's made me stand on my own 2 feet at times, and it's not easy. And then he hits us with this pandemic that really is not easy. But I thank God that I found Hillcrest. I thank God for Andrew and for Café, and for the love that I get from the two of them, and for all the congregation, the love I got from them. Well, I was able to go here, and I'll be glad when we can open our doors and come back as a family.
Well, we were glad that you found us too. You know, we had just lost Sharon Stout, and you know, and then God brought us another Sharon, and it was just, we were so thankful for you coming and bringing your ray of light to us. So, as the wife of a fisherman, you must have some things that God has shown you through that life. Is there anything that you could share with us today about life as the wife of a fisherman?
Oh, yeah, there sure is. God teaches you that you learn to read that bay and learn to pay attention. No room for mistakes. God don't give you no second chances out there. He gives you one. And that's pay attention. Don't stumble and fall. And you know that right from the time you step your foot on that boat. Like, God is in control here. You're going out onto his waters. Yes, my husband may have been steering the boat. But really, God was doing it all. He knew it, and I knew it. We worked hard together. And some days we could be, like, don't come near me again today. But then we had to be in the same area out there in that bay to be able to fish together. So we'd managed to look at each other, and probably I smiled because I got a habit of doing that. He probably thought I have no sense of trying to get angry with her. But God showed me in many ways, like I had taken on a different life, a life I would never thought of I could ever handle or control, even though I can't say control, but do. I walked hand in hand down at that little church also, with people, and laughed with the children and played with the children, and told stories, and I become a hit with the fishermen down there, because there was no other boat with a woman working on it. That's it's supposed to be a taboo for the fishermen to have a woman on a boat. Well, maybe Stephen had never noticed I was a woman, I don't know. But he certainly wasn't leaving his wife at home. He said he knew that God told him to bring her with you. She's going to love what she's going to see out here, what you made for her out here. And you'd have to be out there on that bay, looking in towards the shore, to know the beauty that God has given us when we're out at the bay looking in. I was on that shore looking out all the time, and I'll tell you, the beauty is greater to look in at the shore. To watch the waves pounding against the boat. I never knew as sometimes we were in danger, because Stephen was very kind and would never let me know that. Anyway, we were out in some storms, and of course I was inside and dry, so I thought I was safe. And God kept me safe. And that's, I guess, one of the greatest loving things there is being a fisherman's wife, and a fisherman that knows God. And
you've had some interesting encounters with God. Now, I was just, as I was thinking here, it was a couple of years ago, your uncle passed, and there was a weekend, and here in St. John, I've talked to many pastors, a certain weekend where a lot of people had angelic visits. Do you remember the story, or could you tell us the story? I think it was your uncle who passed away. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. But the story that I had that I told you was one before he had passed away. He had had a severe heart attack. And anyway, and there was, they had finally just put him into a room where he would surely die. And we all gathered around him. And I stood at the foot of his bed with the pastor from the hospital, a woman. I do not remember her name. And his sons and daughters, or his daughter and sons and other family members were all about chattering lowly. And all of a sudden the whole room seemed to change to me. And the color of the room changed. And at his head, the wall became so many beautiful sort of pastel colors, but even lighter than that. And they were swirling. The colors were all just mixing together like something I have never seen before, and I'm sure I'll never see again. And as I'm looking at these colors, thinking, my God, what beauty I see here. And all of a sudden, I could hear somebody singing. And I realized those movements were angels. Those movements were angels, and the angels were singing. And the minister said to me, I said to the minister, I said, did you see that beautiful color? And she said, yes. I said, and the singing? She said, I didn't hear no singing. I said, I did. And at that moment, my uncle opened his eyes as if nothing had been wrong with him at all. And he smiled like he knew, I knew. And nobody in that room seen anything except me and that minister, but the minister did not hear the singing. And I spoke with her later on in life, and she said she went to a retreat to try to find answers for that, because she couldn't understand why she had spent so much time with God and could not have heard what I heard. She could see what I seen, but could not hear what I heard. And it really took her back. And then she said she realized at the retreat, I guess, that it wasn't her that was to see the angels and hear them singing. It was me. It was me that had to see that and take it on to the family. And I must say, as of today, the family still does not believe me. But I know the angels were there, and I know God brought him back. Only to take him on a few years later. He took him home. But at that time, he brought him back. And I thank God for that.
Now, being a Christian woman, you've had some wonderful experiences with God, and we're still human, and we still sometimes struggle with things. Just wondering how the pandemic has affected you in this season. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
No, I don't at all. I can say one thing to anyone out there. If you have a spouse or somebody that lives in the same building, if you have children, if you have a little cat or a little dog that you can hug and comfort, thank God for that, because there's nothing worse than being alone. and of getting up, knowing when you wake up, you're going to walk out of that bedroom and you're going to walk out to the next room, still alone. I have to say that over the last few months, a few times has entered my mind that maybe my life would be better out of this world. And the times that come to my mind, there was someone, especially my grandson, that come fuddling by to me like, "Hi, Nan, love you, Nan." And I think, oh no, he needs me. He needs me. He needs me still here with him. And this Thanksgiving that just went by, he was the only one that called and said, "Nan, do you have some place to go for Thanksgiving dinner? Because I can't see you by yourself. I don't want you to be alone." And I thought that was such a great blessing that he would even think that. And I don't know. I do ask God in so many ways, please, God, please get this pandemic done, get it over. Help us to find someone to find a cure for it. So that we can come back home and have friends, so that I can at least, if I can't have a good friend partner, and I don't mean a marriage, I mean a good friend partner to walk with, then at least give me my friends back here that I can walk through the door and say hi and give them a hug. I miss hugging people so much. I love to hug. I love to smile. I just love to love. I went through my life after my husband died, and I even tried to buy love, and I'll tell you something right now. You can't buy love. You can give them all the money you want in the world. And and when they're all done with your money, they don't like you because you don't have no love. I learned a bad lesson there, or a good lesson, or some kind of lesson. But be he to people. I'm telling you, I never thought anybody could just walk by and use me like that. But yeah, they can. And it was people I loved, and I still love. I can't help it if I put this great big sucker sticker here and everybody could read it but me because I wasn't looking in the mirror. Anyway, I'll get on. I mean, I know that I'll live on day by day, and I have a roof over my head, and I have food in my stomach, and my bills are paid. So I thank God for that. I guess I didn't need the other money. He must have thought that get rid of it because it's just going to probably burn a hole in my pocket. Anyway, but always be aware of what you're doing, or try to be aware of what you're doing. Like I say, I'm a giver. I'm a giver. I don't want to receive anything from anyone. I just want to give to people. And that's what I've done all my life. That's what my mom and dad brought me up to do, was give. Don't take things from people. And just give love. My dad, when I was a little girl, I remember my dad, people saying to my dad, "Why does your daughter, all the kids you got, why does that one daughter not smile?" And he said, "Oh, she smiles more so than the others." And they said, "We've never watched her, seen her smile." He said, "Then you've never looked at her eyes. Because she has eyes that smile all the time." And one day that smile left my eyes. Well, I don't know if it left my eyes. I think it's still there. But the smile went to my lips. And it did that for my dad because he started me laughing. And I was a child that was well on in years of life before I could learn to laugh. We didn't have a lot to laugh about when we were kids, except for laughing with us 12 siblings together and not having a clue what we were laughing about anyway. Kids don't. It come from a very poor family, I did. But I didn't know I was poor, so it didn't hurt me any. So anyhow, other than that, God, all I can say is just please look after me. I'm asking, I don't ask very much, God, of you for me. I do ask a lot of you, I know, for other people. But I'm asking this time for myself. God, I want you to look after me. And when this pandemic is over, I'm going to ask you, God, straight out, please give me a special friend. Someone I can walk with and talk with and laugh and hold hands and smile and just kick through the woods and maybe in the edge of the water, because I don't think I can swim now. Whales can swim, but I don't think I can. I really, God, like I say, I don't want to. I don't want to remarry. I love my husband, but I do want someone to just sit down and watch a movie, have a meal, sit across the table, talk. I don't think I'm asking a lot, God, and if I am, you're going to let me know anyway. And you're not going to answer anything that I've asked you here today if it's not in your plan, Jesus. I know that.
So as we come to close of our little interview, I always like to ask people as we come to close, is there anything that you want to add personally? Is there anything that you'd like to share with people just as we come to a little time of closing?
I guess in closing, I would just like to say that, as I've already told you, Andrew, if there's anything that you can think of that you know that you can use me for good for God, then I'm here. If there's anyone that is watching this video or will be watching this video at this time, if you think I can help you in any way, you feel free to get a hold of me. Because I have a lot of free time on my hands. Don't got no money left. but I have a lot of time. I have a lot of love, and I have no problem talking. I'm not a person of great education, but God will give me words to speak to people when it's necessary. And I just want to thank you, God, today for this, and I want to thank Andrew, and I want to thank everybody that is going to hear this and see this. And I pray that somehow, just one word is all I ask, that maybe just one word has helped somebody out there. I think that's it, Andrew.
Amen. Well, thank you everybody for joining Sharon and I here today. I look forward to getting to know more people over the next while. So Sharon's one of ours, so if you call and ask for her help, we don't want her moving big couches or any of those kind of things. So she's fisherwoman strong. So anyways, we just appreciate you so much, Sharon, sharing with us. And we just pray the Lord bless you, keep you, and cause His face to shine upon you. And until next week, everybody, God bless, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.